satisfy requirements relating to the operation of salons and salutes. Welcome back, Representative Schwan.
Madam Chair, thank you. I have an amendment.
All right, would you,
House Bill 1232B.
okay, and is your amendment online?
Yes.
Right, would you like to explain your amendment a bit?
Yes. The amendment that you have before you was just to cross out section 1 in the initial bill and the last paragraph on section 2, which was 1890.
Madam Chair. Representative Malali.
I motion to move amendment 1232B.
All right, we have a motion by Representative Malali to amend House Bill 1232, 32 with 1232B. And we had a second by Representative Baumler. Do you have any discussion on that, Representative Malali?
Moving it just for discussion. Thank you.
Right? So we would do a voice vote on this amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Amendment passes. All right, Representative Schwan, if you want to go ahead with House Bill 1232B.
Thank you, Madam Chair and esteemed committee members. My name is Representative Tessa Schwan from District 9, and the bill that I have in front of you is 1232B. As you all know, I am a representative, but I am also a hairdresser. My career started in 1990 when I entered beauty school in Rapid City. It was a career I went into hesitantly, believe it or not, as a fallback career, just in case I wanted to work my way through a four-year college, where I wanted to actually major in psychology. Upon entering school, I met kindred minds and had amazing instructors that set me on my path for success. Now, don't get me wrong, I did goof off a bit. You can ask Miss Holly in the back, and Miss Teresa, who is probably online today. But this profession fit me from an artistic and psychological sense. I felt as if I could really make a positive difference in people's lives, and that mindset has never changed. After 33 years in this profession, I've experienced many amazing avenues in this industry. I've taught around the country as a master artistic educator for L'Oreal Professionnel for 18 years, and have settled behind the chair for the last 24 years, where I went from managing and part owner of a 30-station salon in Sioux Falls to now in a private suite where I work with my great work partner, and we have a very full and busy schedule. The reason I'm telling you this is because every single stylist out here today has a story to tell, a story of what has inspired them and what keeps motivating them to make a difference in our clients' lives every day. It's who we are and what we do as a culture. Even though we all differ in our approaches and crafts, our end goals are the same. A professional relationship that's given the gold standard approach is provided a clean, safe, and reliable professional experience. This is more than just hair. This is our livelihood, and it is the very essence of who we are, by an extension of what we do. Today, I present to you HB 1232B. This bill is being brought forward due to the misinterpretation of a law that has been successfully working for over 30 years. This misinterpretation has led to a complete change in our small and large businesses across the state and how we function to keep our doors open. Salons can make it through pandemics, depressions, and many hard times, but it's because we found creative ways to keep working and touch the lives of those around us. A shared booth space is one of those creative ways to work with responsible parameters. Some stylists, nail techs, and estheticians work part-time, and some work full-time, depending on their personal lives. A shared booth is essential to their success and the success of the salons that they work with. We don't need an extra 60 square feet when you're sharing a booth or staggering hours or days. The space is just simply alternated. HB 1232 states, if you look at the bill, it's an act to modify requirements relating to the operations of salons and booths. This is a pretty straightforward bill. If you look down at section 1, it simply reads, a person who operates a licensed salon may allow more than one licensed cosmetologist, licensed esthetician, or licensed nail tech to share a workstation or other space within the salon, provided that, and you can read on. So nothing in this section prohibits individuals sharing a workstation or other spaces within a salon from sharing equipment, provided that the equipment meets the minimum standards set forth by the commission. So this is a friendly bill, and it's a bill that will help a lot of the stylists around South Dakota to maintain their profession, whatever decision they make, if they decide to do it full-time or part-time. I'll yield for more questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Representative Schwanz. Do we have any other pro-bono testimony? Welcome.
Madam Chair and members of the committee, my name is Amber Holson. I'm the state senator from District 30. While I am not a hairdresser like Representative Schwanz, I've spent a lot of time in the hair chair as a former pageant girl. And this bill was actually brought, the idea was brought to me by one of my constituents who you'll hear from in a moment. But I see this issue through the lens of a right to work issue, because we're messing now with the way that we are viewing administrative code and the regulations of hairdressers in a way that's going to interfere with someone's long-standing way that they manage their business. We're talking about small town salons on main streets in places like Custer and Hot Springs that don't have the ability, let alone the space, to expand on a one road main street in South Dakota. And so when you say a license has to have a certain amount of square feet, this is not great cuts or some of those larger salon spaces that you see at many malls in Rapid City and Sioux Falls. These are small town salon owners that might have kids that they take care of during the day and they do hair at night. And why should the law interfere with someone's ability to run their business and serve people in their communities? In a lot of places in my district, and I'm sure many of your districts, it's hard actually to keep some of these services in your small towns. So why should we make it harder for them to operate their businesses instead of easier? So I commend the good representative for bringing this bill, and I'm very proud to be prime in the Senate. So I will not be standing by for questions. I have to go back over to the Senate side, but happy to answer any questions in the future if needed. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Senator Halls. Any other proponent testimony in the room? Go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. Thank you for the privilege to speak as a proponent for House Bill 1232. My name is Karma Santa. I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask you what your name was, so go ahead.
My name is Karma Santa, and I have been in the beauty cosmetology industry for over 35 years. I am a former salon owner, a retired senior cosmetology instructor from Stewart School for just under 20 years, and a newly appointed South Dakota Cosmetology Commission member. But I have to say, the most important thing for me is I am a proud granddaughter of an illegal beautician from Henry, South Dakota. I never knew my grandmother's house not smelling like a low perm. And she got $2 for every perm that she did. And that house smelled so bad. And she'd say, Carm, that smells like money. And that's right. I guess she is a little responsible for my success and rewarding career path. I've always been an advocate for licensee and especially students having every opportunity to evolve in their chosen expertise within our scope of practice. I can remember not too long ago, our choices were limited on even employment prospects. We were limited for established full-service salons, spas, and even amongst the fast-growing chains and franchise companies. In rural areas, it was even more of a challenge, as as stylists had their own private salons in their homes or just single chair salons up on Main Street. Licensees had to wait for someone to vacate a job just to be able to be considered to fill that space. The ultimate goal in our profession for some is to build a clientele and be a business owner. Some full service salons no longer wanted to match our taxes, manage stylists, or even provide benefits. As cosmetologists, estheticians, and nail technicians, we evolved and moved forward to create more spaces to make an income, pay taxes, stay regulated, maintain our scope of practice, protect the public, be inspected, and booth renting became our solution. We did not shut down with COVID, as many full-service salons unfortunately fell victim to. This resulted in, again, less jobs. Our state is not populated like California with many salons and spas, but we really want to make sure that when people come from California, they have a place to work when relocating and getting reciprocity in our wonderful state. With that said, I feel like we should be able to provide more opportunity for licensees in sharing spaces. We have so many hours in a day to utilize the same space. Busy moms, dads, retirees, people with continuing education, licensed students, and professionals want the opportunity to still provide services to their clientele and maybe supplement a household income. Plus, space sharing helps eliminate expenses for one licensee. I used to tell my students, idle hands and empty chairs make no money. And we provide services when other people are off work. Efficacy is a key component, and just being ourselves. Moving forward in our industry is what progress is all about. The present licensees and next generation licensees need the flexibility to have and do it all. They have been instilled with excellent education, business knowledge, confidence, and so much talent. This will also deter unlicensed people and kitchen beauticians, sorry grandma, from practicing and not only taking income from us, but protecting the public. We want to make sure deregulation is not relevant in our future. We need and will still continue to get revenue from licensee instead of them letting their license lapse. I only have one question about this interpretation of an existing law. How and why did it change with no knowledge of the existing board? I am proud and honored to be a part of the South Dakota Cosmetology Board, respectfully representing our outstanding industry professionals. In conclusion, I came across a little statement that stuck with me. It says, working 9 to 5 pays our bills, but working 6 to 12 builds our empires. Thank you so much for your time, and in case you're wondering, Grandma did get shut down, but she got a job at the post office. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for that testimony. Do we have other proponent testimony in the room?
Good morning, Madam Chair and the committee. You would think being an educator, I'd be really easy to talk, but I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. I am Holly Hevery. I am an educator at TSPA, the Salon Professional Academy in Rapid City. I have been in the profession for 40 years. I have taught, I did teach TESA, and I do have some of my students here today. I have been teaching for almost 34 years. This is my passion. Like a lot of people, you go into this profession thinking, I'm just going to do this and then work my way through another college. It has brought me great pleasure and honor to meet a lot of wonderful people. I'm here today to express my strong support for House Bill 1232. Over the years, I've had the privilege of teaching and mentoring many students who have gone on to establish successful careers in the beauty industry. Many of my graduates have opened their own salons, offering booth rentals as a flexible and viable option for stylists. Others have chosen to bootstrap themselves, appreciating the ability to set their own schedules and maintain a work-life balance that fits their needs. In our West River community, there's so many that are in South Dakota, Whitehall, South Dakota, Union Center, that doing shared booth rental would benefit them greatly. As an educator, my passion and goal have always been to help students succeed in their careers. One of the greatest challenges of new graduates is is building a steady clientele. House Bill 1232 addresses this issue by allowing booth sharing, a solution that benefits both new and experienced stylists alike. A new graduate can ease into the industry by sharing a booth, also learning the tricks of the trade. Reducing overhead costs while gaining valuable experience. Likewise, an established stylist who is looking to scale back, such as a busy parent or someone nearing retirement, can continue to work in a way that suits their lifestyle. Supporting this bill is not only a step forward for beauty professionals, but it is also benefit salon owners and the state itself. Consider a salon with 10 chairs, where just half of them shared spaces. That scenario alone would generate $300 in initial license fees in a year, and then $200 per year for just that one salon. And just think of how many salons in our state that do booth rental. Not only will that increase our commission revenue, but additional revenue for multiple across the state and additional revenue for cosmetology commission. Furthermore, the service performed in these shared spaces contributes to state tax revenue. If new graduates struggle to build their business due to financial barriers, they're more likely to leave the industry altogether, resulting in lost revenue for both businesses and the state. After thoroughly reviewing the South Dakota's laws and administrative rules, I have found no language prohibiting booth sharing. Specifically, Administrative Rule 2042-0401, salon and booth requirements on page 39, number 3, states that the salon must have a 120 square feet for the first stylist and 60 for each additional. A limited salon license requires the same 120 square feet with shared reception areas and restrooms permitted. Nowhere does it mandate a separate limited license for both sharing. Administrative Rule 2042-0404, salon and booth equipment requirements on page 41, number 8, requires each working licensee to have a designated station with a clean, closed label storage container for disinfected implements. State Law 3615-1, which House Bill 1232 seeks to clarify, does not specify that a booth license prohibits shared spacing. House 1232 provides clear, reasonable guidelines for booth sharing, ensuring that professionals who choose this option understand and adhere to the safety and sanitation regulations. In my experience, those who share booths tend to be even more diligent about cleanliness, as they are accountable not only to their clients, but to their partners. This bill is an opportunity to support the growth of South Dakota's beauty industry that I have supported for over 40 years. While maintaining professional standards, it provides financial relief, flexibility for stylists, estheticians, and nail techs, encourages and strengthens our industry as a whole. I urge you to support House Bill 1232 for the benefit of current and future beauty professionals, salon owners, and our state's economy. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Right, thank you for that testimony. Any proponent testimony?
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members.
Oh, please turn the mic on.
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Risa Rutz, and I am a salon owner from Hot Springs, South Dakota. I have traveled here today on behalf of the Cosmetology Advocacy Network of South Dakota, in strong support of House Bill 1232B. For years, cosmetologists, nail technicians, and estheticians in South Dakota have shared booth spaces while remaining fully compliant with state laws and regulations. This has never been an issue until the arrival of our current program director, Tyler Evans. Under his leadership, the interpretation of law has not changed, or of our laws has changed. The laws themselves have not changed. Currently, shared booths are not against the laws. If you look at this, the flip side is a email from Tyler Evans. He's on medical leave, so this is his direct supervisor, Miss Jody, where she does say that it does not prohibit us from sharing booths. However, Tyler Evans and the current board are now choosing to reinterpret these regulations, creating unnecessary restrictions. I have learned today that it is not our board members. In fact, it is our program director. Meanwhile, they continue to allow commission-based salons, which are generally chain salons and possibly like the discount type nail salons, to operate under shared workspaces without issue. These types of salons historically receive the most sanitary infractions. Yet independent booth renters are the ones being targeted with these new limitations. The double standard hurts independent stylists and small business owners while favoring larger corporations. The South Dakota Cosmetology Commission's mission is to ensure public health and safety, not to create arbitrary burdens for professionals simply trying to work. The reality that shared booth spaces are a standard, the reality is that shared booth spaces are a standard practice across the country. I have personally reached out to every state's cosmetology board, and the responses I have received so far, highlighted in yellow, 31 states allowed shared booth spaces, while only 4 do not. 3 of those 4 states no longer have regulation. The only one is Indiana that does not allow it. You'll find I've also provided copies. I'm sorry. And I have copies of all of those emails, each individual email. Representative Schwanz has that, as well as Senator Hulse. CAN-SD, the Cosmetology Network of South Dakota, represents the voices of licensed professionals who feel unheard and misrepresented. Many of us are behind the chair every day working hard to serve our clients. House Bill 1232B is critical to protecting the independent styles, part-time professionals, and the financial feasibility of our industry. Without it, part-time independent stylists will be forced out as they cannot afford full-time booth rental on part-time income. I have traveled here from Hot Springs because these changes affect not only me, but licensees across the state. We need transparency, fairness, and regulations that protect the professionals, not misinterpretations of the law that create unnecessary burdens. I know that you all must get your hair cut and perhaps even your nails done. I urge you to please speak to your stylist and see how they feel about the changes in our commission and its new leadership. We need regulations that serve both licensees and the public, not obstacles created by the commission's shifting interpretations. I urge you to support House Bill 1232B, and I really thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Rex. Do we have any other proponent testimony in the room? We do have a proponent online, Ms. Nicole Johnson. Nicole, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, if you want to go ahead with your testimony, give us your name and just please proceed.
Thank you very much. for having me today. My name is Nicole Johnson, and I am a proponent for health disease. I am a local spa owner in Aberdeen, South Dakota, and we have been open since 2020, where I do have booth renters that help support my 2,000 square feet on average. I've been licensed in 6 states across this country, and most recently moved back to South Dakota, which is my home state. I owned an aesthetic school in Aberdeen, and I recently sold that to a new owner. During my time there and my 23 years of licensure, I've always been a huge supporter of small businesses. In fact, I own 2 other small businesses as well in the state, none of which are regulated so heavily by state laws and rules, so more freedom, so to speak, to thrive as a small business owner. First, let me explain how many young girls and guys graduate from cosmetology school, massage school, nail programs, and aesthetic school. Hundreds and hundreds a year in our state alone. The ages range anywhere from 18 to over 70. In my first graduating class as a school owner, I had more than half of my students over the age of 45 years. One student that I'd like to point out for reference was a vice principal of Aberdeen High School here in our city. She retired as VP in 2024, last year, from her long tenured position. She attended my aesthetic school program to have a part-time career in aesthetics, something that she always loved, but the schooling was never available geographically for her to work full-time in a very brutal position. So upon her retirement, she opened up her own booth space in a shared space spot, hoping to reap the benefits of retirement and not pay $650 or more in booth rent a week or a month. She shared a space with a former student graduate of the same program. Delighted to have the opportunity to enjoy her life and make some money on the side, she was later told she was not able to share a space. Now, if you think about what a vice principal has to uphold in a school setting that is regulated by federal laws and more, the irony of her having to rethink what she always wanted to do upon her retirement and to not be able to hold herself accountable would seem scathing when it came to the laws and rules. In my spa, our rooms are about 230 square feet approximately, which does apply to that 120 square plus 60 square feet as the law currently reads. However, we are now no longer allowed to share booths based on the misinterpretation of the law, as Tyler Evans stated in an email. Those are giant room sizes to share with someone who just wants to be successful or schedule part-time. For many years, I held a regional director of operations positions in the Chicago area for this entity. On any given day at some of our locations, we had over 70 guests walk in our door. We had 14 rooms, 12 rooms, maybe possibly more. Shared spaces split between the morning staff and the evening staff for massages and facials. That specific franchise is one of the top in the world. It operates in 49 states with over 1,100 brick and mortar stores. Each room is always changing hands who the service provider is for that day and night shift. And it's a seamless moneymaker. Here's the difference between a large franchise and a small entrepreneur. You're asking someone who paid $26,000 or more for cosmetology school, $20,000 for aesthetic school, what have you, to then turn around with very few clients and find a way to make or pay $300 to $400 a week or more on rent, which does not include insurance, supplies, tools, and all of the other expenses that we have as small business owners. In addition to that, the difference between a large franchise space and a small business is space, just basic fundamental space that is available at commercial real estate level. Space that is affordable for any small business in small towns. Space that is available for anyone who wants to share or go on their own. There is a difference in what is available to rent, purchase, buy, lease, what have you. There's very few commercial landlords that don't want to do 5 to 10 year leases, which that is very challenging for somebody who just graduated from school. There's very few landlords that allow build out expenses for South Dakota's laws and rules and are within the current laws and rules of the cosmetology program. There's hundreds of people graduating every year. Where do these people go to work? On top of that, you have all of these new graduates, current salon owners, spa owners, what have you, that pay taxes to our state. There is a difference between a small business owner and a large franchisee. Small business owners also pay self-employment taxes directly to our state, and they also pay the sales tax. So the difference between these two is you have someone who is fighting to just keep the doors open in a small business if there's not enough spaces to rent or lease or purchase. I thank you very much for your time today. Again, my name is Nicole Johnson and I'm a proponent of House Bill 1232B.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for joining us today. With that, we will move on to an opponent testimony. Any opponent testimony in the room? Going once? Twice? All right, we will move on. Would you like to wrap it up, Representative Shawn?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and all the esteemed committee members. I think you guys have heard the heartfelt testimonies of a lot of my constituents and where we feel that we are at in an industry that really wants to have the ability of the right to work and share the space and do it in a way that's ethical and safe for ourselves and for the public that we serve. So if there's any questions for me, I can definitely stand by, but I think the bill is pretty self-explanatory. And I'll stand by for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. We will move on. Any questions from the committee? Representative Grego.
Thank you, and this is for the prime. I was just wondering, like, each one of you would have a license on the wall then in your space as to what you're qualified to do. Is that correct?
Yes, the question is whether or not we would have a license on the wall of what we are trained to do as a licensed professional. Yes.
Okay.
And that being said, when you do share a booth, both of those licenses are at the booth. And I think some of the question that came in is when they're doing inspections, because we do get inspections every year. And when they do come in for inspections, I think the question is, whose booth is it? You know, like which one are we having to address it to? And so it's stated very clearly if they can't determine who it is that's in the spot at the time, it goes back to the owner of the salon. So.
Thank you for that. Could I have a follow-up, Madam Chair? Thank you. My second question would be, when you are at the location and you are cutting hair, could your shared partner be doing nails? Can you both be there at the same time?
The question is, can you both, Madam Chair, I'm so sorry. The question is if you are having a shared space and one is doing nails and one is doing hair, let's say, as long as they're not trying to use the same space at the same time, yes, they are permitted.
Thank you.
Right, any other questions, Representative Weisbrand?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Schwanz. So this bill is needed because of an interpretation, and that's a recent thing.
Madam Chair, yes, this bill was brought forward due to a misinterpretation of current law that was in our codified laws.
Any other questions, Representative Shawn?
Yeah, Madam Chair. A question for you. Yeah, as we serve in the legislature, we interpret things differently. I wouldn't go so far as to say Mr. Evans misinterpreted he has his interpretation of a practice that's completely different of how it's been going on for a long time, right? This bill corrects that so that it aligns with what was done before and what we should be going forward. Efficiency in business is a continuous improvement, is a continuous thing that must continue. And does this move you back into the direction of continuous improvement, using space efficiently, and generating revenue wherever you can?
Madam Chair, thank you for the question. And I would say most definitely. It moves us back into the realms of where we can practice more efficiently and honestly give the people within our practice the ability to work. Because there's a lot of women and men in the profession that maybe they cannot work full time. And so this allows them to get back onto the track of what maybe was a misinterpretation, it was a part of the law that was not actually efficient in the way that it was working. So we hope that this bill will get that back on track and just kind of clear the air.
All right, any other questions from the committee? All right, with that, we will now go into committee discussion. Representative Schulman.
This is a no-brainer to me. I run a manufacturing company with sewing machines. When I have two part-time people, they share the same sewing machine. How about that? It's a no-brainer. When you've got space available, somebody should be able to use it. And so it's a no-brainer. I'll be supporting the bill.
Representative Knowles.
Would you accept motions at this time?
I have some remarks, and then I would accept motions if anybody else has any comments. Representative Duffy.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with Representative Sharma. I don't understand what you do. I'm glad you do it. I don't want to know. But I really appreciate today. We hear so many subjects that we don't know a lot about, but you all were here. I don't know, but I didn't see a lobbyist here. Maybe somebody else saw one. I don't think I saw a lobbyist today. So you were speaking from your heart. I'm a small business guy, and I'm gonna be in that camp. Thank you, Chair.
Any other comments before we move on? Representative Uriel.
Yeah, this is a great bill. Exciting to see something that's unopposed, and I think it's a great bill. I did check in with many stylists in my district, and it was all a green zone. So I will also be vote on that.
All right, anybody else? Okay, I would just like to make a few comments. I do have a family member that owns salon space and is also a stylist. And she has just entered into a new phase of life where she is a new mom. And so I know she hasn't done this, but she has talked about, maybe renting out her space for a part of the day or a week or however that looks. I don't even know if she knew this was a thing, that you weren't able to do that. So to me, it just looks like kind of a promulgation of rules or however you want to, again, interpretation issue. And that's what we do sometimes. We come back to the drawing board to get clarity and direction. And I think that's what this bill does. To me, it's common sense, good business, and it's going to be more revenue for a business owner and for the state. So with that, I would entertain a motion. Representative Knowles.
I move to that.
Okay. Move to pass from Representative Knowles, second by Representative Baumler. Discussion on the motion.
Madam Chair. I just want to commend the good representative for bringing this great bill forward.
All right, any other discussion? Okay. With that, Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll? Representative Elwood.
Aye.
Duffy.
Aye.
Greenfield. Aye. Kaiser.
Aye.
O'Lally. Aye. Lowell.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Schwann. Aye. Shorma.
Aye.
Muller.
Aye.
Lim.
Aye.
Madam Chair, 13 yea, 0 nay.
Having received the majority of the members elect, motion carries. And since we have unanimous, we can put that on consent. Are we all okay with that? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so that will go on consent. All right, we have a few announcements on Friday.